Welcome back to the channel. This week we're testing the 2025 Honda Civic SI. So not a ton of changes for the Civic SI. There's some suspension retunes, a little bit of it's a mid-cycle refresh, so there's very small changes, not so noticeable to the naked eye, but it was already good looking. So you know what? I don't feel like Honda needed to change all that much for 2025. I think it just needed more horsepower. I think that was really it. I like the blacked out rims. I actually have it in the new color that's available. I forget the name of it. If we look at the back, still really nice. I like the exhaust. I like the kind of the rumble that comes out of there. It's a nice rumble. I don't think you're gonna hear it too much. If I get close, I don't think you can hear it that well. I like the SI badge, stuff like that's very nice. Still really like the tail lights. I like that this is like a slight little black wing here. Kind of separates it from the standard Civic. You know, it does look a little bit like the Civic Hybrid, but honestly, the SI is where it's at for me. I really do like this version of the Civic. If you want like an affordable sporty car, this is the one to get, honestly. So let's hop in. I'm gonna give you my first impressions. Let's do it. All right, so on the road for basically the second time this week with the Honda Civic SI in 2025. Not a ton of changes for the driving anyways that I've noticed just right off the rip. I don't know if you'll really notice like anything really being retuned. Like Honda says things have been retuned in the back and stuff like that, and with the suspension, but I don't know. I feel like it's kind of the same old, but that is good because the same old when it comes to transmission in this manual is very good. Let's give it some beams and see what we got. Oh, not getting any traction though, because just terrible roads mixed with winter tires and cold conditions. I mean, I'm just doing this the whole time. I feel like the front wheels are really having a problem. But yeah, a really fun transmission to own and operate. I think that's where the Civic shines. And also the handling. Oh boy, do I like this handling here. It's so smooth. I feel connected to the vehicle. I feel what's happening because I don't have adaptive dampers, so the ride is a little bit rougher, but I kind of enjoy that. It's a very engaging, in terms of driving experience, it's super engaging. I just got out of the GLI like 2 weeks ago, basically, and I can tell you that I'm still choosing this. The only thing that I wish in 2025, I know it's a mid-cycle refresh, is that they gave us a little bit more horsepower. Like I would have taken like maybe 220 horsepower, bigger turbo or something, just something to get us past and over or way over into the 200 mark, because it's been a 200 horsepower for as long as I can remember. Back in 2018, I remember choosing the Elantra, not the Elantra N at the time, but it was the Elantra Sport. It was a dual clutch because I didn't know how to drive manual at the time. And it had 201 horsepower, and I was like, take that Civic SI. It was like the direct competition. I was like, take that Civic SI. My car still has 201, and you guys have got 200. And I think even Hyundai is still the case. They still have 201 horsepower, but now I think it's called the N-Line stuff. So they've changed it a little bit, but still, the Civic SI's handling is unbelievably good. The transmission is unbelievably good, and it's a super engaging experience. So I got out of the Jetta GLI, and still I'm getting this vehicle because I just like it a ton more. Everything's like, I don't have that weird touch control stuff. My screen doesn't look that bad. There's a lot of really good stuff going on here in the Honda. It feels like they've listened to a lot of things. My American friends, now you guys have heated seats in here. I still got the heated steering. I always had heated seats, so for the Canadians, things kind of stayed the same feature-wise, but for the Americans, well, we did get the Google. That's new for us, too. For the Americans, the Civic just got even better for you guys. I mean, this is an even sweeter deal now. Heated seats, it's a big deal in cars now. Don't talk to me about my heated seats. It's a deal breaker for me. If I was to own a car and drive it every day, in this climate in Quebec, I need heated seats. So glad to see Civic SI take the step into the heated seat market and world. Welcome, Honda. Welcome, SI people, to the heated seat world. But yeah, it's just like, I use the rev match downshift. Look, I am not your typical manual driver. It's not something I always do. I don't own one. I drive them for a week and then I give them back, and then who knows when that's going to happen again, if at all. So So the rev match downshift is a super huge help for me. It's got hill start assist and stuff like that. So it's got all the stuff that if you are a beginner manual and you want to get into something like this, you're going to be able to do it really, really easily because the transmission is just so fluid. And the clutch pedal, I only got about like, say 4,000 miles or 4,000 kilometers at this point on the vehicle. So the clutch pedal doesn't feel that communicative to me. It felt more so last year, but I took it when it had a lot more kilometers on it. So I don't know if that's something, as the clutch kind of breaks in a lot more, that it becomes a lot, you feel the engagement. I don't really feel the engagement, but I've got enough experience driving a manual now that I know when it's engaged and when it's not. I can hear it from the engine and stuff. And driving this for a long enough time, even if the clutch pedal remains not communicative, you'll still have an easier time. You can hear the rev match going on. All the sounds you're hearing, like when I kind of floor it and I do this, like that's the pumped in audio. And also for the US, we had this last year too, you do get the shift lights. Canada, we already had it. We just had the better spec Civic SI. Deal with it in America. You got it now. Congratulations. Welcome to the side of the improved SI. It's great, right? I gotta do it. I gotta play into that. It's fun. But yeah, so I can't wait to show you the whole thing. I'm gonna show you interior, exterior, everything it is, just to kind of show you what it's like to live with a 2025 Civic SI in 2025. So yeah, let's get into the week. All right, so back outside once again with the Civic SI. I still don't have the sun for some reason, but that's fine. I do really enjoy the look of this. I got the new Urban Pearl Gray paint. There it is. It took me a while to get to it. There's, like I said, a slight redesign for the front, so it's kind of unnoticeable. To the untrained eye, you're really not going to notice it all. Slight redesign as well to the back, which looks cool. I love the rims. They look still as good. Doesn't do it justice in person, or on camera, though. In person, it does it very well. Now, onto the back. Looks very cool, very clean. A slight redesign here too. Again, not noticeable to the untrained eye. It's very slight. It's more safety and suspension tuning they did, but I like the SI badge. Let's open the trunk quick here. Ton of space. Trunk space is absolutely enormous, and it is just a very good, very good thing for a sedan like this. I really enjoy, everything that this has to offer. It's a really good daily driver. It's a very good sporty sedan, and it's not boring. And that's kind of the big deal with this thing. And I'm just such a fan of this front end. Looks really good. It looked good in 2024. It just looks that much better here in 2025. But let me know what you think. What do you think of the new paint color? What do you think of the rims? What do you think of the whole package? Do you like this Civic SI? And would you take it over something like a Jetta GLI? All right, so sitting inside the Civic SI for 2025, there's a couple changes for my American friends. For me, not so much. So start with the steering wheel. I like the black stitching. I like the thickness of it. It's pretty good. Physical buttons, we like that as well. Left-hand side, I have some illumination controls as well as the traction control off. There's like a bunch of other buttons here that maybe are for like adaptive cruise in the normal Civic that's just not here anymore, but let's see, it's not a big deal. There's a trunk button right here beyond the switches. Then we move to our digital gauge cluster, which for me hasn't changed at all, but for the people in America, now you have the Civic Type R shift lights, which I've had last year as well, and you also get the digital gauge cluster, which I believe you also had last year as well, which is pretty cool. It's pretty standard stuff. There's nothing crazy. The one thing I would have liked to see out of this gauge cluster is, it tell me what gear I'm in. I wish there was something I can put just for the beginners, because it's easy to tell once you have experience to know what gear you're in. It's also easier to figure that out versus the revs and like your speed and stuff. It's kind of easy to understand like what gear you are in or should be in. But for beginners, it's not really something to think about. So I like it just to have it up, something like the MX-5 has it. So I don't see a reason why Honda doesn't. But anyways, it's fine for what it is for the price point. Not complaining about it. I like the digital dash there. Very cool. Then we also have our digital infotainment display. It's got the Google built-in, which I don't believe I got to experience last year, so this is very cool. Built-in navigation. Google Maps is going to be good. Built-in Alexa. We also have the vehicle settings. This is kind of the same. It looks the same as last year, but if you want to turn off your rev matching, it's going to be right in there. All this stuff is pretty straightforward. It's a very much plug-and-play vehicle. There's not a lot of stuff to go over. Wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, which is going to be very nice for a lot of you. And yeah, I don't mind it. It's super responsive. It was responsive last year. It's maybe even more responsive this year, so a little bit of an improvement there. All physical controls for the HVAC system, no complaints there. And for the American friends, you now have heated seats, but I had that last year as well. Really the biggest change I think on the interior was I didn't get to experience the Google built into the Honda system, which is cool now that we have it. Then just a little bit lower that, 2 USB-C ports, a wireless charging pad, and then this transmission, which is just absolutely butter. I loved it last year. I still love it this year. It is one of the best on the market. Honda and transmissions, they go 1-in-1. Very, very good. I'll talk about it more when we actually take it for a little spin here. I've got drive modes as well. So I've got the sport mode, the individual, which I just showed you, and the normal. So that's the only 3. There's no eco mode or anything like that. And honestly, I'm driving in sport mode most of the time. A parking brake, which is electronic, brake hold, which I will never use. I got 2 cup holders, also a little bit of storage here. The seats are extremely nice. You got the SI badge right here. I love the red stitching. I love the red and black contrast. I like it on the door as well. They've got piano black in here, but they've got it in places that aren't high touch, so it's easy to keep clean. You're not going to need to put fingerprints on it, and that's really good. So this design here is very nice. That design there on the door is also very nice, and it doesn't get dirty. If you're somebody that likes to keep a clean interior like I do, then that is going to be very easy to maintain. Same thing with the seats. I think the cloth would be relatively easy to clean here. So overall good. Overall, I really do enjoy it. So let's see if I can mount some cameras up, 1 or 2. I don't know if it'll work the second one, but I'll try to mount a couple cameras up and show you what it's like to use this guy right here. All right, so leaving this parking lot here now, I got 2 camera setups. Hopefully the one in the top here doesn't fall. I don't know if you can see it through here. It's a massive suction cup, so it's got no excuse anymore to fall, because that was the problem. I kept having my phones are too heavy and my cameras are too heavy for like the little suction cups that I had, so they kept falling off. Anyways, Civic SI, 2 camera angles, so now you can hopefully see what I'm doing with the shifter, and you can also feel free to judge the heck out of me, because I'm still, I guess at this point I'm more intermediate, not so much beginner, because I'm not really stalling that much anymore. And if I do stall, the Civic has a really nice feature where you just kind of press the clutch in again and it restarts the car. So you're not messing around and like trying to, turn the car back on. It just, you press the clutch in again and you try to get going again from where you were. I think that's really important for beginners and people that, because obviously I learned how to drive on just the public roads, which probably wasn't the best idea. Probably inconvenienced like a whole crap ton of people. But look, what happened was, I don't have to continuously try to restart, and it makes you panic. If you just pushing the clutch and try again, it's so much quicker. So that's a huge step for Honda, I think, and a really good thing to just get more people in. And I think that's what manuals need to do, is make it easy. So you need, as much as people might not like it, you need stuff like I just did there, the rev match downshifting, so that way, it's a little easier for beginners, right? And again, this transmission, butter, absolute butter. It's one of my favorites to drive. It would be an absolute pleasure and a breeze to own. I just like it so much. It's easy to feel what gear you're in. The clutch pedal, like I said, not the most responsive, or like you don't really feel the weight. You kind of have to judge based off what you feel in the car and like how you feel the car accelerating. And you can also look at the revs. That'll give you a lot of indication of what's going on and what you should be doing. And that's all right there, right in front of you. You also got the shift lights if you're wanting to be a little bit sportier there. Sure, you can do that too. I'm not somebody who really uses the shift lights on a regular basis. I'm not causing them to do the thing. And that's one of the things for the Americans that gets a lot better for you guys, which is really cool. We had it last year here in Canada, so we were the test case for it, I guess, and it tested well. I liked it last year. I still like it this year. And my American friends, you will like it this year as well. So I got a couple drive modes here. Like I got the sport mode. We'll put it in here now. I've also got normal and individual, but really individual, don't really need it unless I want to have sport mode and like a comfortable steering, but I like it just all in sport mode. I pretty much drive in sport mode almost all the time. It's very rare that I'm driving this thing in normal mode. I just like the pumped in audio. I like the drama that it gives you. Going a little bit past these little area. And so let's see what we can do here. Let's go. Oh yeah, that's a lot of fun. Like, I don't go to red line. I don't feel like it's necessary on these little back roads here. But you don't even need to go to red line. You don't even need to ring this thing out to really get like a good amount of fun out of it. And that's fun. That has the get up and go, and you're engaged the entire time. And that's where the Civic to me stands out over the Jetta GLI. It's just more fun to drive. And I know the Jetta GLI comes in manual, but I just don't like the gearbox or the pedals or the shifter. I don't like anything about Volkswagen's manual. I did the Golf GTI, the Golf R. I didn't like either one of them. So Honda's where it's at. If you're going to do something manual and it's a sedan like this, Honda is absolutely where it's at, even though it's slower than the GLI. This is where it's at. I really like this. I feel engaged the entire time. It's got the sporty look, the sporty feel. I will say, like, the ride is rigid. Like, at some times, especially in the Quebec roads here, I mean, this car just can't handle them. I mean, you feels like a little bit of a bounce house, but the seats do help a lot. I said the same thing for the Type R. It was the same thing, really, really bouncy, but the seats, for me, help a lot. I like that you sink in. It holds you very well. They help kind of keep you steady. Whether you're ripping through corners or you're going over some big bumps, help keep you steady. And let me tell you, the Honda handling. Honda Acura has some of the best handling in the game, and it definitely shows in the Civic Si. I could pump this thing through corners, through tight turns, and I feel connected to the road. And it's not something that you get very often with a lot of vehicles. I feel like it's something that's left out. A lot of manufacturers focus on horsepower, torque, numbers, straight line speed, this, that, and the other. Well, Honda seems to be very dialed in with the handling. Same thing for Acura. Very, very good handling. It impressed me so much. I remember the first time I really started pushing, and it was just a normal Civic Sport touring or whatever last year. And I really started to go through corners. I was like, man, this thing, I feel connected to the road. And you feel just connected to the car too, because not only is the handling great, and you feel like you have a lot of precision and it feels very nimble, but you're also engaged in the driving the entire time because you're downshifting, upshifting, and you're really controlling the vehicle. Almost all aspects of the vehicle you are in complete control of. Of course, I'm using the rev match downshift system, so maybe you can say that I'm not controlling it in that sense, but look, I like my rev match downshifting. You can't hate on me for that. Oh my god, see through this tight turn here? It's just so good. It's just so good. And this transmission is just so smooth. It just feels so nice to shift this thing. What a breeze. What a breeze. If you learn how to do it and you are going to learn on a Civic Si, don't be afraid. Like, this car will help you. I think it will work with you. It's so forgiving with me. I even found, sometimes you go over a speed bump and you don't necessarily want to go into first because, usually manuals don't really like first. And, first is like clippy, right? It's a bit weird. First is really only for getting going or just, kind of cruising around very slowly. Usually you're going to get into second right away. And I noticed that, when you're going over speed bumps, I don't want to go into first and I want to slow down quite a bit. Last year I found that when I was slowing down really low to maybe 10, 14 kilometers an hour, kilometers an hour, that's right. The car would kind of start to buckle a little bit. You can kind of feel the stall coming, the little stall shake it does. This year though, I don't have that at all. I can get pretty low. I'm going to go over a speed bump here. I can get pretty low on the brakes in second gear, go over the speed bump, and there's no weird rattle or anything like that. I feel like they've improved the range there to kind of be able to go a little bit slower in second too, which is nice. But first gear, I will say, when I do have to get down to first gear and I maybe do it too early, I will say that first gear feels a lot better. I feel like it's rev matching into first gear, which I don't know if it did last year. I don't think it did. So that's very cool too, to be able to do that. But yeah, rev match downshifting, perfection. I don't need anything else. Makes me feel like an absolute F1 driver. So yeah, let me know what you think so far of the driving of, the whole thing here. Hopefully you've got a pretty good view of the stuff I'm doing here. That's kind of what I wanted to show you anyways, is how this whole thing comes together and works. But yeah, let me know what you think. I'm super curious, and I'll pick it back up a little bit later in the week. All right, back outside with the Civic Si. Got the engine bay open now. Got the engine running too. Pretty, clean, I guess, engine compartment. I would have loved to see an engine cover that just says SI, or even the Honda logo would have looked cool because the Type R has it. It would have been cool to see the Civic Si get that treatment too. But still, a decent thing. We've got the VTEC in here as well. Don't ask me where it is. I'm not a mechanic. I just review how the car drives. but still, I think these things are pretty relatively easy to work on, but you can let me know in the comments if that is the case or not. It doesn't look too bad in terms of reachability of everything. Everything's very exposed, right? So you can kind of get in there and do your stuff and tune to your heart's content, hopefully for owners that want to do that. It is easy enough. But we have just 200 horsepower and I think 193 pound-feet of torque, something like that. Obviously standard manual transmission, that's the only way it comes, which is pretty good too. So yeah, but I'll pop the numbers out on screen if I haven't already, and that's it. That's pretty cool. I like the engine compartment. The engine's a very good engine. I wish it made more horsepower, but there we are. All right, last time outside with the Civic SI, finally got it in some sun. Very cool looking paint color. It's a very nice paint color for the money. I did like it in black last year though too, but overall I love the changes. Front, rear, they really didn't have to change anything. I think this is still a solid platform. Would have, of course, liked to see a little bit more juice out of that engine at this point, but look, even if they never change that, it's fine because I think the engine was reliable and the running costs are low, and that, nowadays especially, is what is important. But yeah, last little walk around here. It's really been a good vehicle to use, to live with. It's a nice daily driver. It's a nice enough looking vehicle that you like getting into it. You know, I like the way I look when I get into my Civic SI here. I like it. It looks very cool, performs very well. It's got the speed sort of to back it up. And yeah, you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it as a fun daily driver. It does exactly what it's meant to do for that. So let's hop in. I'll give you my final impressions. All right, so last time on the road, just kind of cruising through a little parking lot here. Let's do some final impressions for the Civic SI. Look, overall, my opinion has not changed since last year. If anything, you know, the vehicle has gotten better just because of the fact that, well, we now have the Google built in. There's a little bit better of a suspension. There's retunes. The transmission is even easier to use than it's ever been before because now if you stall, you just shove the clutch down again and it restarts. Not to say that I've been stalling, because this vehicle is extremely forgiving when it comes to the manual driving. Like, you can make quite a bit of mistakes and it's probably not gonna stall. I mean, just to get this thing to stall in testing, I had to like rip my foot off the clutch really quick and then it would stall pretty hard, like boom, you know, you'd get the kick. But if you just gently release the clutch, it just drives. It just goes right into first. It doesn't like it at all, but it does work. It goes right down into first and no problem. But yeah, so it got better in that regard, and it's just a great package. It was already a good platform, and they can only continue to improve it. Again, my one wish is just maybe a bit more power, but honestly, you could always go to the Type R too, right? The Type R is always there. It's kind of the good stepping stone to the Type R even. Like if you get good at driving manuals with the Civic SI, that's very forgiving, and you can make your mistakes here where the running costs are lower, and it's not as an expensive vehicle, whereas a Type R is quite expensive. You just want everything to be smooth if you're going to move up to a more expensive manual like the Type R. So you also got room to learn here too. It's very, very learner friendly, which I really, really appreciate. It's good at handling. It's got a really nice interior. I mean, there's very little here to complain about, which is really, really good news. It's pretty affordable too. It stayed affordable as well. I mean, this is just a great all-around manual, great daily driver that can get up and go, give you the zaps that you want, the speed that you want, and just have fun when you want to have fun, but also cruise around when you just want to cruise around. It's great at doing both, and you can kind of turn it on and off like the flick of a switch, It's just a very versatile car. It's a car that I enjoy getting in and driving every day, back and forth to work, in and out of traffic, although the manual transmission is not very fun in and out of traffic, but that's any manual, not necessarily anything to do with the Civic SI. And yeah, great overall experience. Let me know what you think. Would you buy it? Why the Civic, or why not the Civic SI? With that being said, make sure you like, subscribe for more videos just like this. I will see you in the next week. See you in the next car. Take care.